Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome. Okay. Welcome and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We're talking about August. That's crazy, right? I say it every month because it is crazy how fast time is going. Anyway, I hope that July has treated you well, is treating you well. I'm doing these a little bit different, just in the sense of I'm releasing them as I do them, the readings. Whereas like before, I would do all of the readings, get them all scheduled to like release on the same day. And for whatever reason, after July's readings, I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. So, you know, we go where the energy takes us as long as it feels good, right? So we're giving this a go. I don't necessarily have much else to add other than that. We're just going to shuffle a million times. Wait for that feeling when the cards are ready. Okay. So just bear with me here. A lot of this is operator error. Like my hands don't want to work. There. Okay, so Sagittarius, August. Ready? We have the King of Wands. Is that your card? Absolutely. Well, there we go. Starting off, Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups, Three of Swords. Okay, these came out together. 10 of Wands and Queen of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. And then we have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Okay. It's interesting because I feel like this top row is how you're presenting, like, you know, outwardly presenting to people. And this bottom row is how you feel about yourself, your situation, your life, whatever. We'll go through it, of course. That was just first impressions. So we start with the King of Wands. And like I said, you know, this is the Sagittarius card in the Minor Arcana. Wands, fire energy, right? Action, communication, motivation even. I also see Wands as being information cards, whether you're giving or getting information. And kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? So they have this air of togetherness. Like it would appear that they have their shit together, right? And with the King of Wands, you know, I mean, we do also associate creativity and desire. You know, this is also somebody who could work for themselves. And kings are also leaders, right? I mean, they have a kingdom basically that they oversee. So like I said, you know, like this air of like having your shit together, like you have everything under control. We have this lion here. There's whatever this little like lizard thing is around their neck. And it kind of has that air of, why do I keep saying has the air of, like, have I ever used that phrase in my life? I'm honestly not sure. But I've used it at least a million times in the last 2 minutes. But this feels like a snapshot. You know how Instagram or Facebook or whatever, like social media, people will put out a happy face. But if you know them, you know that it may not be as amazing in real life as they portray it on social media, right? Which I understand, because to a certain extent, I don't think you really want people up in your business. I don't think I think you already know, because you're Sagittarius, so of course, duh, right? But like, people do have a tendency of inserting their opinions and shit, right? You know, that unsolicited advice stuff, and you know, maybe just for whatever reason, it's easier to present this way, right? But, and I'm saying that because we have the Three of Swords underneath here. And the Three of Swords is like, you know, I mean, clearly, there's 3 swords and a heart that, you know, she's holding up to her chest. This has, I'm not going to lie, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to like outwardly fully call you out, but this just has that air of martyrdom. What? I said it again. Oh my gosh. Where is that phrase coming from? Oh my Lanta. This feels very dramatic, is basically like what I'm saying. Because that's not really her heart, right? I mean, she's just holding it there, which to a certain extent too, she could be using as a protection, right? So that it doesn't actually penetrate her. So that could even be, you know, I mean, you could be a little bit guarded. Like I said, like you don't necessarily want people all up in your business. And, you know, like the Three of Swords having to do with our thoughts, intellect, our mind. I see it as being the suit of the ego also, because that's generally where we hear our egos and our minds. The Three of Swords talks about clearly heartbreak, right? But it's like how that lives in our minds, like what our perception of that is, and how we, you know, like communicate it, how we deal with it. You know, like how those kind of emotions and feelings go through our own filters. So it could be disappointment, rejection, exhaustion. This could even be too, you know, I'm going to say everything that kind of comes to my mind. This could also be healing. You know, like one of the other stories or one of the other situations here, like if this is how you're feeling, then, you know, the Knight of Wands would kind of have this determination to address this. You know, it's like putting light to darkness, you know, kind of putting a light on that that stuff that lives in our shadows, right? And the King of Wands is going to take charge of that. I mean, we even have this lion here, which is, you know, the same lion that's on the strength card. So, I mean, it could be taking a lot of energy to be in this energy, but also, you know, because there's that saying, the only way out is through. And this would be through. And then we have the Ace of Cups here. And the Ace of Cups, cups having to do with our emotions, right? And the Ace of Cups talks about emotions overflowing. Your cup is full. So full, in fact, that it's overflowing. So there's this like rejuvenation of the emotional body. But again, you know, like this feeling of how you are presenting, like presenting like your cup is full. And your emotional needs are being met and all of the things, right? There's also, you know, the moon phases here. We just had a new moon. Yesterday. Today is Friday the 29th. This could even be, you know, like having kind of like a positive outlook forward. Like, you know, just knowing that things are going to change. This could even be you trying to keep your cup full, like trying to keep your head above water, right? And then we have the Ten of Wands here with the Queen of Pentacles. And the Ten of Wands talks about burden. Again, you know, with wands having to do with action, communication, tens are the completion cards also. And I see the Ten of Wands as being, you know, like all of those experiences and knowledge that you picked up along the way, starting from the Ace of Wands and the journey to the 10, right? Because as you're doing things, as you are experiencing them, right, you gain knowledge and wisdom. And this could even be too, like, being overwhelmed, like having too much on your plate, taking on too much. But like I said, you know, the tens are completions. So it could even be kind of packing your shit up and moving on to, you know, something else. And we have the Queen of Pentacles here also. So, you know, Pentacles have to do with money, how we get it, how we spend it, how we invest it, our time, how we invest and spend our time. It can also be our physical bodies. I always mention the physical body when it comes to Pentacles, because it is the 3D world, right? And when we talk about the Queen of Pentacles, she's nurturing. There's also kind of a motherly quality to her. But with the queens, it's when we recognize the energy of the suit within ourselves. Because, you know, like most times we have to recognize it within ourselves before we can share that with other people, which would be moving on to the king, right? So this would be managing your time, right? Like based on your needs. Managing your money based on your needs, right? It could even be, of course, like nurturing yourself, like self-care, because we go from this 3 of Swords here to this 10 of Wands, which is, you know, kind of this uphill battle. And it's almost like, you know, to me, the way that I'm seeing it as I'm sitting here is, like I was saying with this, the only way out is through. So it's kind of like, you know, you're on this journey here and it may feel like an uphill battle, but then you reach this place where you recognize what it is that maybe you're missing. And I also love how in this card, if you hopefully can see, there are these little figures in the, you can see the one here, maybe. They're like part of the vines, but they look feminine. There's a silhouette here. So again, you know, like just even thinking about that self-care aspect, it's your support group. And it's not necessarily like, you know, sharing what's going on with you. I mean, you know, I would never, you don't have to share anything with anybody if you don't want to. But it's even maybe just a matter of like stepping outside of what you have been doing and letting that help fill your cup for you. Like, you know, just having different conversations, or even just having conversations with people, right? It could even be about getting out in nature. But with these two cards like next to each other, it's like, you know, this uphill battle, and this is it's like a rest stop is how it feels. Like kind of giving yourself a little bit of a breaky poo. And then we have the Knight of Cups here. And it's interesting because we go from the Ace of Cups to the Knight of Cups. And okay. The Knight of Cups is, you know, that knight in shining armor energy. The knights are messengers. This card, you know, he's holding this cup here. The horse is like covered in flowers, fully submerged in the water here, right? So again, with the emotions, water being emotion. So, you know, there's generally an offer being made when the Knight of Cups shows up. It can be a romantic offer. It could be a job offer. It could even be an apology. However, it's paired with the Seven of Swords here. And the Seven of Swords is kind of a sneaky type of energy. like it's hard to decipher somebody's intentions with the Seven of Swords. So I'm not really digging this here. This almost kind of feels like a distraction. I've heard, you know, like the Seven of Swords also talks about, you know, taking a risk. But I'm not necessarily getting that vibe here. Most times I do, honestly. Like, I don't necessarily ever look at the Seven of Swords as being that, you know, because a lot of people, you hear about it being the card of manipulation or narcissism or, you know, like just kind of those lower vibe, not self type of energies. And I am getting that this time in this reading. And like I said, it almost does just kind of feel like a distraction. It's almost like it's just kind of taking energy away from you. It could even be, you know, like whatever this is, could be showing up. Because there's, maybe just like a sliver of a crack of an opening for that energy to seep in. Because this doesn't, I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be somebody else coming in. This could be you offering to take on even more, or offering to, again, like almost like offering to take out of your cup. And like I said, you know, like it feels like it would be for a distraction. Very interesting. Oh, sorry. He agrees, I guess. Go tell him. Go tell him. Go tell him. Tough guy. Sorry about that. But then, you know, we have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is the sword of truth. So, you know, this is a new idea, a new perspective, inspiration, right? There's all these butterflies on here. So there's this level of transformation even. And we have the Five of Wands behind there. And the Five of Wands talks about fighting for something. It could be arguing. There could be 3 people involved. This could even just be needing to, like I think I was saying somewhere about setting boundaries. And the people around you may have a hard time with that. And they might want to push back. But with the 5 of Wands, I always think about Mulan. Because you know how in Mulan, they go to like warrior training? That's what this is with the 5 of Wands. It's training and learning and going through the trial and error phase. That's why, you know, there's even kind of conflict or competition in here. But after the 5 comes the 6 of Wands, and that's success. Like you've successfully gotten through the 5 of Wands, right? So it could just be also a matter of you prioritizing yourself. And then we have the Unknown card, which is kind of cool because it's really kind of like the sky is the limit. It really, what it does, it's like it frees up space, time, energy, so that you can do whatever the F you want to do with that extra time, space, energy. 2 of Wands, deciding, you know, like what direction you want to take. What do you want to do? The world here. The world is your oyster. Oyster, oyster. Right? Oh boy, we have the Hierophant, which is kind of like, you know, institutions, kind of traditional. It could even be community, like building a community or establishing a community, or even like teaching. We have the Fool card, brand new beginning, right? Taking a leap of faith. There's that Strength card that I was talking about with the Lion, right? And strength has to do with like perseverance and determination, not like physical strength. And there's the Magician. Oh my gosh. The Ace of Pentacles. Are you kidding me right now? Like, and the Magician after the Fool here, like, you know, the Magician talks about pulling in your resources, creating. Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity. It could even be a gift, but it's some sort of way of making money. And I love how all of this is behind this Ace of Swords, and more importantly, behind this 5 of Wands, because it is going to take you what's the word? Advocating for yourself. And if people have a problem with it, it's their responsibility to deal with that shit. Not yours. All of this amazing opportunity back here. Like, very cool. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.